From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's 5 o'clock here on your Thursday morning. Good morning to you. I'm Nicole Griffin.
Nicole, good morning. I'm Rafael Sanchez, and here are your headlines on this November the 5th.
We'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop.
Every vote must be counted. No one's going to take our democracy away from us. Not now, not ever.
Votes continue to be counted in key battleground states, and we wait to learn who will be the next president of the United States. The latest on the race for the White House.
And as that wait continues for the winter, Election Day is turning into election week. This morning, we're talking to Hoosier voters about their thoughts on this historic election cycle.
And the number of COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations continues to rise. This morning, the strain that's putting on frontline workers and the efforts to relieve some of that stress. Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this November the 5th. I'm Rafael Sanchez, coming to you live here from our Johnson County Bureau, my living room, as we continue to social distance. My good friends, of course, Nicole Griffin and Todd Clausen. We keep laughing about it, right? But this is month, I think, number 9, guys, that we're sort of doing this, but we're going to be safe about it. Nicole, by the way, always great to have you with the GMI family. Welcome.
Rafael, thank you so much. Always good to be here. And meteorologist Todd Clausen has some good news as we start our Thursday morning.
Yeah, you know these warm temperatures are just going to continue here all the way through the weekend. That is the good news, especially considering anytime you're in November and you're talking about temperatures in the 70s, you're in great shape. Now, we probably don't quite get to 70 today because there's a little more in the way of cloud cover building in, but right now it's still clear in Bloomington as well as Lafayette. Some of those clouds just starting to make their way into Indy right now. But look at these temperatures at the top of the hour at 5 a.m. We're sitting in the 50s, almost at 60 degrees in Lafayette. Here's the cloud cover. It's been completely sunny the past couple days, so this represents a little bit of a change, but there's no precipitation here. It's just going to be this band of cloud cover that's going to be working its way through the area. So it's probably not quite as bright throughout the entire day today as it has been the past few days, but it's still a really good day because it's going to be very mild. We're in the 50s here through about 9 a.m., quickly through the 60s by the noon hour, and then high temperatures getting close to 70 degrees this afternoon, but we'll probably top off right around 67 to 68 across most of the area. But tomorrow we are back into the 70s. More on that coming up in just a few minutes. Nicole?
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a live look outside at traffic this morning. I-465 at Ditch Road on the north side. This is a live look right now from our INDOT traffic camera. We have some good news. No crashes or delays so far to start your Thursday. This morning, we are still waiting to learn who will be the next president of the United States.
And Nicole, according to ABC News, at this very hour, President Trump has 214 electoral votes, while Joe Biden has 253. But the ballots are still being counted in key battleground states. This morning, analysts say it is still too close to call in 6 states, including Alaska, Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. But both candidates, they say they remain hopeful that they will emerge victorious.
My friends, I'm confident we'll emerge victorious. But this will not be my victory alone or our victory alone. It'll be a victory for the American people, for our democracy, for America. And there will be no blue states and red states when we win. Just the United States of America.
We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election. So our goal now is to ensure the integrity for the good of this nation. This is a very big moment. This is a major fraud in our nation.
Well, as you heard, President Trump frustrated that vote counting is still continuing, which he says only serves to disenfranchise his supporters. And this morning, his campaign is laying the groundwork to contest a possible Joe Biden win. Lawsuits have been filed against Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Georgia, 3 key battleground states in the election. The suits are calling for better access for campaign observers at locations where ballots are being counted. They also raise absentee ballot concerns. The new filing rulings join existing Republican legal challenges in Pennsylvania and Nevada.
And meanwhile, former Vice President Joe Biden has broken the record for the most number of votes cast for any presidential candidate in U.S. history. The record was previously held by his former running mate, former President Barack Obama. According to the Associated Press, Mr. Biden surpassed 70,330,000 votes as of 2:38 Wednesday afternoon. At this hour, he has more than 72 million votes, with ballots still being counted. Now, to put that into perspective, in 2008, Mr. Obama set the record with 69.5 million votes. The turnout numbers for this year's election underscore how much more engaged voters are compared with 2016. And Nicole, as you know, we still don't know who the president is going to be just yet, which of course has a lot of people here in Indiana and across the country feeling a lot anxious.
Yeah, and WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with some of the reaction from folks down on Mass Ave last night. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So it seems no one really knows how to feel right now. There are a lot of firsts going on in this election. As Raphael just mentioned, Joe Biden getting more votes than any other presidential candidate has before. We also don't know who's won the election just yet. And then we also know that more Americans turned out to vote than ever before. So we went down to Mass Ave last night to just kind of talk to voters to see how they feel right now.
It's nice to know things, but it's nice to get the count right and do the answer right. So I'd rather get the count right and get the answer right. You know, it's kind of like halftime at a football game. If you're like the Colts, you probably think, I'd like to see them win, but you got to finish the rest of the game and all that. And usually in the post game, you find out. I figure we're close to the post game.
So we are still waiting for that post-game announcement, wanting to know who the next president of the United States is going to be. Now, of course, we will keep you updated. You can download the WRTV News app, and you'll get that push alert as soon as we know more information. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you so much. As we continue our Democracy 2020 coverage, the ballot counting will continue at the Marion County Election Services Center here in Indianapolis. The Marion County Clerk's Office says officials will likely finish processing absentee ballots sometime today, they hope. They counted late into Tuesday, as you saw, and then all day yesterday. And though the process is a long one, volunteers and workers we spoke with say it's time well spent.
When I heard that there were so many outstanding ballots that still haven't been counted, I really was like, oh, we need to get this through and sooner than later. And so I just wanted to make sure that these, votes were being counted and, just kind of making sure people are more reassured about that.
It's my civic duty. I think, and I've said this before, I think that every adult should do this at least once in their lives, to touch the ballots that somebody else has put together. It makes you feel a sense of pride.
And we thank you for your service. The numbers are big. More than 200,000 Marion County voters cast their ballots by mail.
Now to the latest on the spread of COVID-19 in the Hoosier State. At yesterday's weekly briefing, officials provided some perspective on the state of the pandemic here in Indiana. State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Bach says our 7-day positivity rate is 8.7%. Dr. Bach also said between September 15th and October 25th, we saw a more than 200% increase in the number of cases. Hospital admissions have also increased significantly and are at their highest level since the pandemic began, something that is putting a strain on not only the hospitals but the staff as well.
Perhaps the greatest strain right now is on our hospital workforce, which is in the 9th month now of responding to this pandemic and facing the greatest patient load yet. They are frankly exhausted. They're quarantined or in a family quarantine. They're juggling home issues just like the rest of us, like hybrid schooling. And some have even lost coworkers and family members to this disease.
Dr. Bach says they are having regular meetings with hospital systems to see how the state can best help alleviate some of this added stress. Part of that effort includes recruiting retired nurses, doctors, and other reserve healthcare workers to help out at hospitals and long-term care facilities around the state.
Nicole, taking a closer look at those numbers, Indiana once again seeing a record number of new COVID-19 cases here in our state. Wednesday, 3,756 new cases of the virus were reported. That brings the number of Hoosiers infected with COVID-19 to 191,764. The state health officials also report 25 new deaths. So far, 4,224 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. And despite the surge in cases, Governor Holcomb shut down rumors that the state would be enforcing new restrictions.
We're not in the same place as we were in the spring, and that has all to do with our capacity to care. Not just surge capacity, but our capacity to care. So that's what we look at, and that's what you're working with local communities each and every day.
Unfortunately, the Midwest, all of our neighboring states are having similar significant increases. In fact, the Midwest, I think everyone is over 60% increase in their positivity rate over the last 2 weeks. And a couple of the states that are even more shut down.
A reminder that Marion County is not in stage 5. Tighter restrictions are still in place, like capacity limits and early closing times at some businesses. It is now time to check your local forecast. And Todd Clausen, while you are giving your forecast, I may just step outside because it is so great out there. I may just want to enjoy some time in the outdoors.
Yeah, you know, step out. You probably don't even need a jacket if you're only going to be out there a short period of time, Raphael. It's pretty pleasant as the skies are mainly clear from Indianapolis off to the east. A little more in the way of cloud cover as you work your way to the west, but no issues as the kids head off to school and come home to school today. About 45 degrees. Your temperature as the kids come home, we're looking at temperatures that are going to be running in the upper 60s, getting close to 70 degrees. And speaking of 70 degrees, we are going to be around or above that number Friday all the way through Tuesday of next week. And then the cold front's going to come through. But our average high is 58. So we're going to be running anywhere from 12 to about 15 degrees above normal here this first week of November. A great stretch of temperatures. This doesn't happen very often, so you need to take advantage of it. Start making those outdoor plans. We'll show you a 7-day planning forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you. With the election mostly behind us, division among Americans remain. After the break, how experts say we can heal the divide as we begin to move forward.
Nicole, before I head outside and go on that walk, let me read this first. Aldi is hoping to put you in that Christmas spirit. Details on their new Advent calendars and when you can get one. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on this Thursday. New overnight, one person is dead after a crash involving a motorcycle and 2 other vehicles. Here are the details. This morning, it happened around 11:30 last night at the intersection of 46th Street and Binford Boulevard. Officers on the scene say the motorcyclist has died. Additional information on the victim has not been released at this time. No word on if any other injuries were reported on the scene. Police are still investigating what caused the crash.
And also new this morning, Seymour police have identified a man shot and killed by officers responding to a reported robbery. Police say 43-year-old Jason S. Klein of Beech Grove was found near a Speedway gas station Sunday night. He allegedly had a shopping cart full of stolen items from Walmart. When officers caught up to Klein and attempted to take him into custody, they say he began to resist and pointed a gun at officers. And that's when they fired their guns, striking and killing him. Police say the handgun in Klein's possession was found to be loaded and had been reported stolen as well. The investigation is ongoing at this time.
Nicole, Philadelphia police, they've released body cam footage of the shooting of Walter Wallace Jr. And I want to warn you that the video you're about to see is difficult to watch this morning. The footage is from the 2 Philadelphia police officers involved in Wallace's death. In it, you can see Wallace coming out of a home holding what appears to be a knife. Officers demand him to drop that weapon multiple times and tell him to back up. As Wallace walks in the street, police open fire. The shooting happened in less than 1 minute. The video was released after an agreement was reached with the Wallace family. The investigation is still ongoing in this case. A lawyer for the Wallace family says they do not want the officers charged with murder. instead saying that the officers did not have the proper training or the equipment to do their job.
Unrest in Portland continues this morning, and the Oregon National Guard has been activated. Protesters started gathering Wednesday evening at Revolution Hall in southeast Portland for a Defend Democracy rally. The group met up with a second protest, which started earlier in the afternoon. While things started off peaceful, the sheriff's office says members of the second group were later seen smashing windows and vandalizing property. A riot was declared around 6:45 local time and rescinded just after 9 p.m. Authorities said objects including a Molotov cocktail and glass bottles were thrown at them. So far, 10 people have been arrested. Protests also erupted in other cities across the country, some in response to President Trump's campaign filing lawsuits to stop the vote counting. Some of the protests were against the president, while others included his supporters who demanded to be let into vote centers where votes are still being counted.
So as we all continue to wait who will win this presidential race, the big question this morning and for the next several days is, how do you move forward in this uncertain time? Psychology experts say what we need most is to connect with people who have similar reactions to how you're feeling. After that, it's time to start reaching out to people with whom you might have political disagreements. Then invite them to have a face-to-face conversation. Let them know what you hope to get out of that conversation. And here's what's key. Let them know that you care.
Which means that both of them are going to come to the table, again, trying to understand where the other person is coming from, trying to listen to them, not necessarily going into a discussion trying to change someone's mind. That's really not active listening.
She also says if both of you are willing to get past these political rifts, chances are you will.
Whether you had mutual interests in sports or hobbies, or, you can engage about grandchildren. There are a lot of things to connect on besides politics, and sometimes it's good to refocus on those things and leave the political issues aside if you can't make progress there.
So keep this in mind. Experts say we may not be as divided as you might think. Our perception is that most people are on the extremes, but the truth, according to the experts, most people are in the middle. Time to check your forecast this morning, and there's no disagreement whatsoever that Todd Clausen has the bestest forecast ever for a first week in November.
You know, it's really been great, Raphael. We started the work week off on Monday with temperatures in the 20s. That was a little cold for everybody. I think we can all agree on that. But since then, temperatures have been running well above normal, and we're going to continue that here throughout the day today with just one little change, and that's just a little more in the way of cloud cover today. So throughout the morning hours, the clouds are going to increase across the area. And then throughout the afternoon, we're mostly cloudy. I don't think it's a solid overcast sky. I think the sun will filter through the clouds at times. And then as we work our way into the evening hours, the clouds are going to clear back out. So it's not a bad day for us. It's just going to not be completely sunny like it has been the past few days. Look at your 24-hour temperature change and kind of throw out Bloomington. Their thermometer yesterday morning I don't think was very accurate or working well. But we're running anywhere from about 5 to 10 degrees above where we were already yesterday, and that's due to some of the clouds moving in. But right now we still sit at 59 degrees in Lafayette, 56 in Bloomington, 54 in Indy, and Muncie currently at 57 degrees. Going forward throughout the day this morning, we hold pretty steady throughout the next couple hours. And then once the sun comes up, because those clouds will be coming in throughout the morning hours, we don't see that huge jump in the temperature department as we go into the late morning, early afternoon hours, but we're still climbing into the 60s. And here are those clouds. Still clear from Indianapolis to Richmond down to Greensburg. A little more in the way of cloud cover as you see as you work your way to the north and west. And this is just a pretty thin band of cloud cover that's going to be moving through during the course of the day today. There's not much anything in the way of precipitation with this band of cloud cover, so that's the good news. And that's why I think it's just kind of filtered sunshine this afternoon compared to that solid overcast sky. But even with the clouds, temperatures above normal. 67 in Kokomo and Logansport today. A few locations probably get to 70 degrees. Petersburg, Martinsville over to Shelbyville. Upper 60s in Indianapolis as well as Crawfordsville, and then upper 60s as well here in southern locations as you work your way from Bedford over towards the Seymour area. This evening, temperatures as the skies clear, they'll cool off pretty quickly, and by 9, 10 o'clock we should be completely clear across the area. And that'll set us up for another great day tomorrow with mostly sunny skies, temperatures in the 40s to start on your Friday. We end right around 70 degrees, keeping in mind our normal high is 58 now this time of year. And looking ahead at your 7-day planning forecast, Saturday at 72. It's a great day for us. And then we continue into Sunday, 74, Monday, 74. Even Tuesday, we're in the 70s before the cold front goes through. And then once that front goes through with a round of showers, which is our next chance of rain, it'll bring cooler temperatures back in for the forecast on Wednesday. Nicole?
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a live look outside at traffic this morning. This is a look at I-65, at I-465 there on the northwest side, where everything is moving up to speed at this hour. No crashes or delays to report. With so many people looking forward to the end of 2020, Advent calendars could be more popular than ever this holiday season, and Aldi is joining in on the trend. The grocery store is now selling a collection of more than 20 different Advent calendars. Your choices include wine, beer, or hard seltzer countdown calendars, but if alcohol isn't your thing, you can also get cheese or chocolate-themed Advent calendars, and there are even options for the children and pets in your life. Raphael, I will take the wine calendar. Thank you.
I will join you. I will buy whatever's left over. Okay. Comfort food and alcohol, speaking of alcohol, topped Google searches, Nicole, throughout Election Day. Coming up what some say was behind this trend. I think I know what that may be. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. Welcome to WRTV.
Welcome back. Stress eating was a popular pastime on Election Day, and that is according to online searches.
That was me. That was me in the studio just eating and drinking because, listen, it's been stressful, right?
Right.
So Google says that searches for fries near me and liquor store near me, no liquor in the studio, but liquor store near me, were at all-time high on Tuesday during the election. Liquor store near me was the number 3 spot. It was the number 1 third spot phrase searched on Election Day. That was topped by pizza near me and Chinese food near me. The food searches were also popular that they even at one time beat out the searches for election-related information at one point. That's a lot of food and drinks. Many online folks say people are using comfort food and liquor to ease their election anxiety. And as we wait for a winner, Nicole and Todd, it could all be said that maybe we'll be looking for where are the jogging trails near me to top a search list. And the weather will be perfect today, right, Todd?
Yeah, you know, it's going to be a very nice day for us here today. Once again, temperatures above normal. One little change is yesterday and really the day before on Election Day, we had completely sunny skies. There'll be a little more in the way of cloud cover today, but we remain dry. And by the noon hour, our temperature is up to 64 degrees. High temperatures today in the upper 60s, still well above normal. So every opportunity you want to get outside at any part of the day, you will be able to do so. The time now is 5:29. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. We're back here in just a couple minutes.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now at 5:30, the race for the White House still close and undecided. We'll break down the latest on the states that still have yet to call a winner this morning.
And as the wait for results continues, voters are on the edge of their seats. We're talking to Hoosiers about how they're handling the election suspense. We want to thank you for joining us here on this Thursday morning for Good Morning Indiana. I'm Nicole Griffin in for Lauren Casey this morning.
It is November the 5th, so the calendar says, though, but Todd Clausen, it feels more like April. I'm not going to lie, and I'm liking it. I'm liking it.
You know, April, or I'd pick September. Keep it in the fall season.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, it's very average temperatures for September, what we're dealing with right now. And that's with highs that are going to be in the 60s and in the 70s in the coming days. So what do you need to grab before you go? Well, you probably need the light jacket here this morning briefly, and then you probably don't need it later on this afternoon. I highlighted the sunglasses for you. For some of you, you will wake up up to some sunshine here this morning before the clouds eventually start to win out. But look at central Indiana. Temperatures in the 50s anywhere you go. 59 in Lafayette, 56 in Bloomington. So we're off to a pretty good start. But here's the cloud cover starting to make its way from west to east across the area. So Greensburg to Richmond, up into the farmland, Winchester area, you have the best opportunity for some sunshine throughout the morning hours. But these clouds will eventually kind of just slide their way through rather uneventful, as we're not going to see anything in the way of precipitation, and the clouds themselves are not those thick clouds that produce any rainfall. It will kind of filter the sunshine through at times. So it's not a completely overcast day. 52 degrees at 8 a.m., your noon temperature at 64, and then temperatures should top off right around 67 degrees later on this evening, Nicole, as the skies start to clear out just a little bit.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a live look out on the roads on this Thursday morning. This is a look at I-65 at County Line Road there in Johnson County, where you can see everything seems to be moving smoothly here at 534. No crashes or delays to slow you down. New overnight, one person is dead after a crash involving a motorcycle and 2 other vehicles. It happened around 11:30 last night at the intersection of 46th Street and Benford Boulevard. Officers on the scene say the motorcyclist has died. Additional information on the victim has not been released at this time. No word on if there were any other injuries. Police are still investigating what caused the crash.
And right now, Nicole, all eyes are still on the presidential race as the votes continue to be counted this morning. This is a look at the ABC election map, and you can see right there multiple states from the West Coast right here to the Midwest that still have yet to be called today. Joe Biden, as you know, is currently leading with 253 electoral votes over President Trump's electoral vote numbers of 214.
Yeah, but the race still is tight as ballots continue to be counted in critical battleground states. ABC's Faith Abube is in Washington now with the very latest.
This morning, the counting continues with former Vice President Joe Biden saying he sees victory ahead.
I'm not here to declare that we've won, but I am here to report when the count is finished, we believe we will be the winners.
Biden eating into Trump's lead in Pennsylvania, claiming he'll flip Arizona blue. Projections now show he's likely to win in Michigan and Wisconsin, and he's just 17 electoral votes shy of the presidency. His campaign setting a record for most votes for any presidential candidate.
We've won with the majority of the American people. Indeed, Senator Harris and I are on track to win more votes than any ticket in the history of this country.
Still, the former vice president urging patience as vote counting continues in swing states like Nevada, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. The president currently holds a lead in the Keystone State, but there are hundreds of thousands of ballots yet to be counted. The majority from Democratic-leaning areas, but without any legal basis, the president saying this.
So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop.
Even the Senate Majority Leader, Republican Mitch McConnell, weighing in.
Claiming you win the election is different from finishing the counting.
With the president's chances of staying in the White House for 4 more years narrowing, the Trump campaign now mounting court challenges in several states, including Michigan, where he's pushing for more GOP observers to be allowed into counting locations. This group causing chaos inside one of those sites, chanting, "Stop the count."
Other than his overnight news conference yesterday, the president hasn't been seen. He's been behind closed doors in the White House. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
Faith, thank you. We still don't know who the president is going to be, which has many people feeling a little anxious. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with reaction from folks down on Mass Ave last night. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Nicole. So we as Americans, I believe, are good at a lot of things, but this week we're proving that we're not really good at patience as we all wait to find out who the president of the United States is going to be. But a lot of firsts happening in this election. There are, first of all, we don't know who the president is. Joe Biden getting more votes than any other presidential candidate. And then, of course, the record number of Americans coming out to vote this year. So we went down to Mass Ave to see how people are feeling right now about this election.
I think what's going on nationally is insane. Like I think sometimes it's a little unbelievable what's going on right now. But you know, I have a belief in the system, and that we can get things turned around and headed in the right direction.
I just would love to know who it's going to be and get this over with, and I hope everybody stays safe and treats each other nicely.
So I think patience is the theme this week as we all continue to let democracy play out and until we wait until we find out who the next president of the United States is. And of course, we will update you, so you can download the WRTV News app. And as soon as we know that information, we will send a push alert to you. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you so much as we continue to follow our Democracy 2020 coverage here on Good Morning Indiana. Here in Marion County, votes will continue to be counted this morning. It is a big vote here in Marion County as well. The clerk's office says that workers tallied more than 87,000 absentee ballots just yesterday. They will resume counting at 10 this morning. More than 200,000 total Marion County voters cast their ballots by mail this election. And we now have the results for one of the biggest races for Central Indiana. Indiana's 5th congressional district will remain in Republican control, as Victoria Sparks will become the next Congresswoman, as she won over Democrat Christina Hale in a tight race. Sparks has served in the Indiana State Senate since 2017 and will now replace retiring Republican Susan Brooks.
A Central Indiana school board at the center of controversy will now have 2 new members. Northwest Hendricks School Board President Jim D'Agostino and board member Craig Peoples are out. Voters made their voices heard, electing challengers Abby Morgan and Joe Brooks. This comes after more than a year of backlash and division over how the school district handled sexual misconduct allegations involving a teacher and a student. Both newcomers tell WRTV Investigates they plan to improve communication and restore trust.
We're all still neighbors. We all still go to the same events and church, and we're going to see each other at restaurants and grocery stores and all those things, and we're all part of the solution one way or another. I know that I'm going to make sure personally to do everything that I can do to communicate and keep and maintain the trust that the community obviously has with me in regards to the way that the turnout was yesterday.
Abby Morgan released a statement saying, quote, "I would like to thank the members of the Northwest Hendricks School Corporation community for their support. I am excited about this opportunity to serve the community I love."
Indiana again just setting another record high for new COVID-19 cases. The State Department of Health reporting that 3,756 new cases on Wednesday, and that's a record for most in a daily report. The previous record at 3,649, that was set last Thursday. More than 191,000 total cases have been reported since the pandemic began. 25 new deaths were also confirmed, bringing our state's death toll to more than 4,200 Hoosiers. The spread of nursing homes also continues to be a major concern. The health department reporting 856 new cases, and those happened between May and earlier this week. 120 new deaths in those facilities were also reported. And putting this all in perspective, nursing home deaths now make up 57% of the state's total COVID-19 deaths. Yet, nursing homes still make up a small percentage, only 6% of total positive cases.
The State Department of Health is asking for retired nurses, doctors, and other reserve healthcare workers to help out at long-term care facilities. The National Guard has already been deployed to dozens of nursing homes throughout the state. Their goal is to help with testing, reporting, visitor registration, infection protocols, and other tasks.
Our first few days in the facilities have been very productive. The feedback that we are getting is that our soldiers and airmen are augmenting the staffs, and they're helping the staffs with adherence to CDC guidelines for wearing their PPE. They're helping at screening at the front door. They're taking temperatures and really enabling the staff to do their jobs.
The plan is to have more than 400 soldiers deployed to more than 500 nursing homes by the 16th of November. Todd.
All right, Nicole, it's going to be a pretty decent day for us here once again across the area. Temperatures are going to continue to run well above normal. The one little change you'll notice as you take to the roadways here this morning, especially after the sun comes up, there's going to be a little more in the way of cloud cover that we'll have to deal with throughout the day today. But overall, it's still a wonderful November day. 52 degrees as you head to work with the added cloud cover this afternoon. Temperatures just a little bit cooler than yesterday when we were up in the 70s in most locations. We're looking at a temperature right around 65 degrees. Today, another good opportunity to get out there and rake some of those leaves up before we get some rain here next week. If you can't do it today, obviously you have the weekend as well, and you're just fine. Then the next chance of rain doesn't arrive potentially until very late Monday, but more so on Tuesday. We'll talk about your 7-day planning forecast in detail and Maine weather coming up in just a few minutes.
So you just heard Todd's forecast. It's going to be great today. But what happens when Todd starts talking about winter weather? Coming up, what the city is doing to make sure restaurants can still follow those safety guidelines and offer outdoor seating. That and much more coming up right here on WRTV.
Even though it is not quite cold outside yet, winter will be here soon, and business owners in Marion County are trying to figure out how to continue operating under COVID-19 guidelines. As the temperatures get colder, people likely won't want to sit outside, which has been the solution for many restaurant owners in following Marion County safety procedures. To help, the city of Indianapolis is offering grants to help restaurants, bars, and live event venues purchase equipment to help keep outdoor spaces warm. That includes tents, tables, chairs, and PPE. Jason Mugg owns 9 Irish Brothers on Mass Ave, and he says the money would be a helpful start.
It's a lot of thinking into what could happen, what customers are going to want. Are they going to want to sit inside a tent with the big heaters and all that stuff? Are they going to want to be able to come out and enjoy themselves just like they would inside, but at a safer place outside?
The Ready for Winter grant will offer reimbursement for up to $2,500 for these expenses. It is available on a first-come, first-served basis to Marion County businesses until November 20th.
Nicole, some cities across our country are putting caps on the fees that food delivery apps charge you during this pandemic. Working for you, here are the details as we know them. The advocacy group Consumers Checkbook, they did an investigation into these costs. They placed orders with 8 Chicago restaurants, and combined, it found with DoorDash, there were more than $200 in hidden fees. For Grubhub, it was $160, and for Uber Eats, it was $100. The group also estimates the 3 apps took about $32 out of their $85 food bill.
These apps have become so market dominant that a lot of restaurants feel like they don't have the choice but to participate. And even if a restaurant offers its own delivery system and drivers, if the order is placed through the app, they still have to pay big commissions and fees to the app company.
Now you can get around these fees by ordering directly from your favorite restaurant. DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats all say they've increased restaurants' business before and after the pandemic. They've also provided millions of dollars in reduced or deferred commissions. Today you can get your flu shot when you visit the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. The museum is partnering with Riley Hospital for Children to offer these free flu vaccines during their $5 First Thursday Night event. The shots are available to families and children 4 years of age or older who attend. It begins this afternoon at 4 o'clock and runs all the way through 8 p.m. Admission to the museum is $5. Social distancing will be followed, and everyone inside, of course, is required to wear a mask. Get your flu shot, because today we're getting a dose of great weather, and of course we're going to go to Todd Clausen, who's going to tell us all about it.
Yeah, you know, our temperatures continue to run well above normal, and it's pretty rare that we string this many above normal temperatures together this time of year, at least in the 60s and 70s. So it doesn't come around too often in November with 5, 6, 7 days in a row of above normal temperatures. So take advantage of it. We still have several more days of warmth heading heading our way. 54 outside right now. Not bad as you get going here on this Thursday morning. And temperatures all across the area range from 50 in Greenfield and Connorsville to 56 in Bloomington, 57 in Muncie, a little cooler in Richmond, but that thermometer in the morning always seems to be running a little bit cooler than other areas, 53 in Terre Haute. Here's how your day breaks down hour by hour. The one thing you'll notice throughout the morning and into the afternoon hours, at least compared to the past few days, is a little more in the way of cloud cover. And then once we get to the evening hours, probably by about 4 or 5 o'clock, the clouds are going to be moving out and we'll start to get back into some sunshine. And even when it's mostly cloudy, the sun will still filter through the clouds. No threat of rainfall today. We're in the 50s through about 10 a.m. Then we're into the 60s with highs eventually getting up to right around 70 degrees. And here is that cloud cover that's moving through. It stretches now from our area here in central Indiana back into central Missouri. And this is just going to slowly and steadily move off towards the east as it comes through. We're not expecting any precipitation, even though TrueCast is trying to paint a few isolated showers for us here across the area today. The air is really, really dry, so I really just don't think that's going to happen. And then once we get again to the late afternoon hours, closer to sunset, that's when the clouds are going to start to move out. And then tomorrow is going to be another sun-filled day. So decrease in cloud cover this evening. Sunset is at 5:38. Keep that in mind if you have outdoor plans. And we're looking at partly cloudy skies overnight with temperatures in the 40s. Going forward in this forecast tomorrow, we're back into the sunshine with the added sunshine. Highs should be back up into the low 70s for afternoon highs. A great end to the work week as we get into your weekend. Saturday, 72 degrees. Sunday, look at that, all the way up to 74. It's going to be a nice, mild, and a dry weekend for us. And we keep the temperatures on the mild side on Monday at 74 degrees. Still a really, really nice day for us. The change arrives on Tuesday. And that's when the cold front's going to come through. That's when we get some rain. Tuesday's high temperature 71. And then once the cold front comes through, look at Wednesday, back down to 56 degrees. That seems a lot colder, and it is from these 70-degree temperatures, but keep in mind our normal high is 58. So even though it gets much cooler, it's more seasonable across the area. Nicole?
All right, Todd, thank you. This is a live look at traffic this morning. I-74 at Post Road on the southeast side, where you can see everything's moving up to speed. No crashes or delays. Stay with us. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV. Welcome back. This election has been different for many reasons, and with the pandemic creating new challenges, election officials have been getting creative.
So, Nicole, in California, they found a high-tech way to be transparent by rolling this out, a new robot named Clyde. Clyde provided social distance supervision of poll workers while they counted ballots. His two-way screen streamed live in the lobby, allowing observers to see behind the scenes in real time. Officials also put GoPro cameras in the mail sorting and ballot counting areas for all to see. Now, for me, not judging Clyde, I think that's a great use of technology, but I would have preferred, Todd Clausen, if Clyde would be delivering maybe some pepperoni pizza and a caffeinated drink on election night. That's my choice, but Clyde, I don't want to take Clyde's job away. I get it.
Man, that sounds so good right about now. Nice slice of pizza. I don't care that it's only 5:57 in the morning. But I agree with you, Raphael. That'd be nice. All right, outside right now, temperatures are in the 50s here. 56 in Bloomington, 52 in Indy. Lafayette's at 58 degrees. There's a little more in the way of cloud cover today, as we've been highlighting here this morning, but it's still a good day for us. It's dry. Highs get up to right around 69 in Bloomington as well as Columbus, 70 in Lafayette, 68 in Richmond. All these temperatures are above normal. And the even better news is we stay above normal all the way through the weekend. We'll talk more about that coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.